There's a lot happening right now where people are making great strides in the manga industry, and instead of looking at it like it's a good thing, there's a lot of people crawling from under a rock and trying to say something, what something is called or what something isn't. It is or isn't. These are people who look at something and truly believe there is no difference between what somebody is creating and what somebody is not creating. I had a typo there. It's seriously baffling that I can sit on this app and see people type things that they cannot factually back up. It's also baffling, not battling, baffling that there are so many closed-minded people who look at an artist trying to create their thing by being inspired from someone else's work and they label it cultural appropriation. Since a lot of you don't actually understand what that means, I want to place the definition below. And we'll get to that. If me being an African American man and creating manga is cultural appropriation, then by your logic or that logic, anyone who is a hip hop musician who's not black or in rock and roll music because and they're not white, they're also appropriating the culture or those cultures what they come from. And just so I can be ignorant like the rest of you who think this way, I'm not going to bother looking into the history of who actually created rock and roll or any of the other types of music like blues or hip hop. I'm going to go up with the now and current events. I'm making this long ass post to say most of the people who think this way won't change their mind, and nothing will change their mind because they've been fast set in their ways. If you want to come and read our work over at lumento.net, I'm not going to stop you. You are always welcome. I'm not like other people who say, if you don't want to buy or support or do whatever, don't. No. Fuck that. Come read our works. Come enjoy. We appreciate and we welcome all. Thank you. Appreciate it. But what I can say is no one will ever stop me from making manga as long as I live and breathe. Take from this what you will, and I'll see you guys tomorrow on Bento's YouTube channel. Getting to the cultural appropriation definition. Cultural appropriation is the adoption or use of elements of one's culture by members of another culture, often in the way that is perceived as insensitive or disrespectful, particularly when the dominant culture appropriates from a marginalized or minority cultures. Before we get into the definition of that, welcome back everybody. Marshulartz, owner and operator of Lumento.net, stationed here in the state of Ohio. It is my manga and light novel publication that I love and hold so dearly that I've wanted to create since 3rd grade, by the way. You can go read our works over at Lumento.net. Links are in the description. Be sure to subscribe and like the video, as it shows your ever-growing support and interest in the work. Anyway, shout out to all the recent subscribers as well. Appreciate you. There's only been 2 so far for this week, but hey, you are appreciated nonetheless. Let's dive back into this video. So we read what cultural appropriation is. Here's a more detailed explanation as I screenshot. Cultural appropriation involves taking or using aspects of a culture that is not one's own, often without understanding or respecting the cultural significance of those elements. Context. It's often considered problematic when members of a dominant culture borrow from minority cultures, as it can perpetuate power imbalances and erase the history and significance of the original culture. Examples, which I kind of got. Wearing traditional clothing or headdresses from a culture that is not one's own. I just want to really understand. What are we taking from Japan that is hurting them or that is inappropriate? What am I taking as a manga artist? Am I taking their laptops? Am I taking their pens? Am I taking someone's very specific manga style that's unique to them, which everyone has their own? Even me, someone who was inspired by fucking One Piece. One Piece of all books. I'm going to blow this shit up, because I'm fired up about this. I'm inspired by One Piece. Ichira Oda. Okay? I'm not stealing anything from this man. Our styles, they do have similarities because I like his art style. I've based it on that. Culture appropriation involves taking or using aspects of a culture that is not one's own. Someone can take that and be like, oh, well, you're taking manga and you're calling yourself manga. How is that deemed disrespectful to the entire culture of what they have? Often without understanding or respecting the culture. Let me blow myself down. Often without, read it with me, without understanding or respecting the cultural significance of those elements. Now I take this shit to heart. I take this to heart. Because if anybody knows me, they know how dedicated I am to the craft. They know how serious I am to the craft of creating manga. I have battled tooth and nail and argued with some of the illest people online about me creating manga. And to anyone out there who says otherwise, it is what it is. We disagree. That's all I can say. I'm not going to disrespect you for not believing in my viewpoint. But I'm not going to not stand my ground to battle against this. This post was literally made at it's 4:58 a.m. I typed this up when I was in the shower. That's how mad I was. Water dripping down the phone, messing up, giving typos. That's how mad I was. I was typing this. And you want to know why? Because I seen this post. I'm going to click on the original post. First off, shout out to CoryxKenshin. Or if you don't pronounce the X, CoryxKenshin. Because some people do, some people don't. YouTuber CoryxKenshin's original manga, Monsters We Make, breaks US sales record of over 200,000 copies sold in its first week. That is amazing. Now, as many of you know, I had a Kickstarter that did not reach its goal of $3,500 with a total amount of $880 by the end of the day. Okay? You guys will hear more about that on the Bento video over on Lumbento's YouTube channel. So stay tuned for that. But shout out to CoryxKenshin. To sell 200,000 copies in your first week is truly amazing. Literally, I could not be any happier for him and other people like him. Shout out to all the other manga companies that are also selling books. They're also putting out good story, because there's not a lot of people who are putting out good presentations of their stories. Not a lot of people do that. At Lumbento, I strive for 3 things. I'm going to blow myself up while I say this. I strive for 3 things. Telling a good story, having a good person who's able to reciprocate what their story is about, so having a good representation or a spokesman of their story, giving out that story in engaging and entertaining ways. Those are the 3 things I strive for. If you're gonna join Lumbento's roster, you need to be what I perceive to be a good person. If you're going to be putting out a story, make sure the story isn't shrouded by your personality. And then on top of that, we need to actually give things out in an entertaining way, because when you're making a story and you're putting it out to the world, it's about the fans' interaction and engagement and enjoyment in your story, your characters, and the world building. That's why some of our favorite stories actually stand out to us. That is why One Piece has inspired me so goddamn much. Because the characters, the world building, and everything else has been super entertaining. That's why CoryxKenshin oversold, not even oversold. He probably sold more than what he thought he was going to make. I'm willing to bet my entire savings account that CoryxKenshin thought he was going to sell less than that. He probably was like, "Oh, we're probably going to sell 10,000 copies, maybe 50,000." 200,000 in your first week is insane. So once again, congratulations to him and all the other people out there who are doing the exact same thing. I digress. I really want to talk about this. And we're getting into the weeds. And I apologize. It's probably gonna be a little bit of a longer video, so please stick with me because this shit, it irks me. So congratulations to him. We have this person come here. Shout out to the @201 Campbell. He retweets the Dextro CoryxKenshin thing and says, both these mangas are created by non-Japanese artists / authors, and nobody bitched about them appropriating Japanese culture. It's only a problem when black people do it. I'm not gonna say it's only a problem when black people do it because I don't know. Me being in that space as a black person and having people tell me that I can't do it because I'm black, I see a lot of that. I don't know if it's happening to white, Mexicans, people who are Asian but just not Japanese. I don't know. It could be happening. I don't know. So, but looking at these two, I know Solo Leveling is a manhwa. I know Radiant is a manga. You guys, if you guys don't believe me, I'm going to show you guys something. I'm going to show you this shit. Where we at? Most people think I'm capping when I tell people I read manga. Let me try and get this. My bad, guys. Give me one sec. Look at this. What do you guys see? 1 through 17 of Radiant. I don't think I have the newest one. I don't think I have volumes 18. I'm a collector of the manga Radiant because it's such a beautiful manga. That's exactly what it is. It is a manga. And if you don't believe me, let's kind of get into the comments, and then I'm gonna one up every single person in the comments. I'm gonna put my books down here. So I believe it's a manga, okay? But you don't gotta take my word for it. Let's look at some of these comments. Neither of these are manga. No, because neither of these ever claim to be neither of these ever claim to be a manga. Okay? If anything, they were appropriated by Japanese to make anime out of. The creator liking manga doesn't make it manga. This is the black literary equivalent to a white person with vacation dreads. Solo Leveling is not a manga, it's a manhwa. Okay, that's true. Manga, manhwa, and comics, or any form of graphic novels, I don't personally see how they can be exclusive to a culture. They're all literal mediums. However, if the contents of his manga just blatantly ripped from Japanese culture, I can see justification in the backlash. That I can understand. Though I haven't read his manga, so I don't know the contents of it. I don't see how his background should matter, as he's just any other mangaka that made a manga. I can agree with that. No one considers Solo Leveling manga. There's definitely people who consider Solo Leveling manga, as you read up above. You idiot. There's a lot of people who consider Solo Leveling manga because they saw an anime. And most people who see anime, whether it's from manhwa or it's from an American side, they will always, or when they see anime like that, they're going to always think, oh, it's a manga. A lot of people aren't as educated to know the difference between manhwa, manfra, mana, all these different ones. They don't know the difference between these things. They don't. And they don't care to know. If it has cool, flashy pictures and big stick goes boom, it's an anime, and they're like, oh, this is amazing. And a lot of those people are tourists. Let's just be real. Cook, didn't even realize this. Factuals. Correct. It is a problem when black people do it, and only then. Were they made by Asians? These are not manga, and anyone in the space outside of surface level knows this and does not call them as such. This has nothing to do with race. Good for the guy. His comic did well. I find it interesting. You're so hyper fixated on hopping on the coattails of Japanese media. This shit is outrageous. We're hitting like the 15-minute mark, and I do apologize, but please bear with me. Are you retarded? Who calls Solo Leveling a manga? A bit harsh, but I understand what he's saying. Radiant was fire. It's so sad no one here is talking about how peak Radiant is, man. I understand that. Radiant is super good. I see your point, but Solo Leveling is a Korean manga, manhwa, in which I like that this person said this. It's a Korean manga, manhwa, created by a South Korean author in South Korea. It's a whole different situation. Rating is closer, but different to, it's a Japanese-inspired French manga just like Cory's, but their manga is directly published in Japan. There's some give and take in that, but for the most part, this person is correct in what they're saying. I don't know what rating is, but Solo Leveling is manhwa, not manga. Fair answer. LOL, I swear, it's such a weird, unnecessary amount of hate. Folks never realize how crazy unusual it is when they don't express the hatred to anyone else but black people using slave-era insults whenever we try to grow and develop, yet we're the ones stuck in the past. Manga, manhwa, comic, all of them are the same except from where they came from. Is Solo Leveling set in Japan? I thought it was Seoul, South Korea. Dog, Solo Leveling is a webtoon, LMO, there's a difference. Now, rating is a manga, I'll give you that one. I mean, I don't think that dude should be getting hate, but there's a difference between manhwa and manga. Solo Leveling was written in Korea. Also, Japan and Korea are only 50 kilometers apart, and they have thousands of years of shared history in some case. I agree with that. And that's all I'm reading. I'm going to read it. That's all I'm reading. This person is kind of wrong with what they're saying for Solo Leveling, but it doesn't matter. The message of what they're trying to say still lands. A lot of people want to scream, oh, it's cultural appropriation, when they don't actually understand. There are tons of international manga competitions. Tons of international manga competitions. Let's just go back to one. The Japan International Manga Award. Not just Japan's Japan Manga Award, Japan's International Manga Award. Meaning people, let me just say, those of you who don't actually fucking understand what the word international means that it can be everywhere. Everywhere. Okay? It's not just in Japan. It can be everywhere. All right? Let's go to a few other ones if you don't believe me. The Wordless World Manga Contest. Crazy how this works. Karakawa. Whoa, it's like we're able to see this. This is crazy. This means that it's for everybody around the world. Who would have thought? And I know the people who actually need to see this aren't fully going to see this. Shout out to those of you who are actually seeing this. Very much appreciate you. But share this video out to people, man, because there's more people who need to know that the Kyoto's International Creators Award 2024 just happened. It's a comic contest and a manga contest. Wow, look. Story manga section. Yes, it does say comic contest. It does. But the reason why it says comic contest is because manga and comic can be used interchangeably. The reason why I use manga in the US is so that people understand my storytelling method. Because if I say comic, they're going to be like, oh, and go to read it from left to right, and a bunch of other problems are going to ensue. But if I say manga, instinctively they will know, okay, we're reading this from right to left. Whether they think it's wrong or right, it sets the tone for the way I, as a person and the creator of my story and my publication, want them to read my works and the works who are also published underneath Lumento. Let us continue. Wow, silent manga audition. I almost applied for this because it's international. Most of you don't actually know how to fucking read. And that's okay. That's why Marshulartz is here to teach you. We're going to go to this one. Magic International Manga Contest. I've shown you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if you don't believe me, let me show you just one more. Shonen Jump Plus Manga Contest. I want you people who are acting fully retarded out there to fully see what I'm saying. Shonen Jump Plus Manga Contest. Oh, it's not international. Oh, you're cultural appropriating. Yeah, now you look dumb. You look stupid. Talking about there's no such thing as talking about, oh, you're cultural appropriating and this is this. All right, let's go to this. No, Solo Leveling is not a manga. It's a manhwa in South Korea webtoon series. It has been adapted into anime. The original creator was created by, I don't know how to say the name, so I'm going to try my best, Chungong, as a light novel, which was then adapted into a manhwa. The anime is also both based on the manhwa and the light novel. So it is a manhwa, for those of you who don't know. And that was me just kind of proving a point, saying, yeah, it is a manhwa. I understand what that creator was trying to say, but at the end of the day, the manhwa usually is, this manhwa particularly is read more in a webtoon fashion. So I get it, but you can't look at anime, and that's the problem. A lot of people in the States look at anime and automatically think, oh, this must be a manga somewhere. And they don't actually know, just like the one comment had said, they don't actually know the difference between surface level knowledge and undertone knowledge, which a lot of times happens. So I want to look at this. Is Radiant a manga? Yes, Radiant is a manga series. Now, it is a manhwa because it was created by French artist Tony Valente, and while it has elements of Japanese manga, it's also considered a manhwa, manga plus France. We have the same thing here in the States with another group of creators from Onso Go saying that they're creating the new wave called mana, and that is their thing. No one can deny them that thing. People can hate on them for it. People cannot like who certain creators are. They might not like certain takes, but they are doing something else, and that is what's happening. They are doing something different. And that is what's happening. Now let's continue. It's also considered manhwa manga. It has been translated to 20 languages and has an anime adaptation. I just want to take you guys to the to the major next point. I just want to take you guys to the next point. Whoa! What is what is happening? Radiant creator Tony Valente talks all things manga at New York Comic Con. When was it? 6 years ago? Here is a French manga, and who's saying this? Is it Tony? Let's see.
Here's a French manga. You don't have to read it.
Tony Valente is calling his work a manga? What are we coming to? This is what the creator wants? Who would have known? Oh my gosh, what kind of world do we live in? Where he says, here is a French manga.
Here's a French manga. You don't have to read it, but if you want to, maybe do so.
Here's a French manga. You don't have to read it, but if you want to, do so. It's the same fucking logic I have about Lumbento. Here's an American manga. Actually, let me grab the book. Give you guys the whole fucking spiel. Here's an American manga. You don't have to read it, but if you'd like to, then please do so. I would very much appreciate it. Even if you don't like it, leave a comment and let me know what your thoughts are and why you don't like it. Thank you for seeing this ad. I needed to make this video because I was highly upset. Okay. I needed to make this video because I was highly upset, and I don't think a lot of people quite understand how much of an achievement this is. There's so many people who want to bag down on these creators because they're trying to do something for themselves. Nobody comes after little Susie who's white or Hispanic when they want to make Italian food. It says, oh, Susie, maybe you shouldn't do that because you're cultural appropriating the Italians. She ain't causing nobody harm. If the food she makes is good, people are going to accept it. If the food she makes is bad, someone's going to come along and tell her, hey, it's bad. Maybe you should try this. Maybe you should try adding this or taking out this ingredient. No, but instead of uplifting people, all you want to do is badger people and beat people down until they don't want to create and they don't want to be themselves. I'm not going to take it, and I'm not going to sit down, and I don't expect any of you to do the same shit. So this is Marshulartz once again giving you another video straight from the bottom of my heart and my mind and how I feel. So guess what? Hashtag Penguin Nation. That is all I have to say. Subscribe and leave a comment down below. I don't give a damn if it's long-winded. Leave a comment down below telling me your thoughts on the situation. Telling me if you agree with my points or not. If you don't, that is okay. I am still happy you watched this video all the way until the end. And if you did, I appreciate you for sticking around just as long as you did. Once again, shout out to the subscribers and be sure to subscribe and like the video if you want more content like this. Hashtag Penguin Nation. We are out.